What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh for JTM Racing. What's going on? So we got Willie here getting the computer all fired up, so we have tunes while we're working. Nick couldn't make it, but no big deal. What we're going to be doing today is removing the subframe from the Nova, and the reason why is I want to get the subframe all cleaned, prepped, and repainted before we put the motor and the transmission in, just so it looks good. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today and be concentrating on, so let's get to it. All right, first thing first, guys, we need to get the Nova jacked up to where the front end's raised off of the ground so we can start disassembling the subframe. What I can see, there's only 4 bolts connecting the subframe to the body of the car and a few little miscellaneous bolts, but it should be pretty easy. And yeah, we're gonna get cranking on that here soon. And the Civic is in the background on a battery charger right now. She hasn't been started in the last, I don't know, month and a half. So I wanna get her fired up and let her run for a little while just because it's been a little bit. So yeah, let's do it. All right, so we got the car up in the air. I wouldn't do it the way we did it. It's a little unsafe. We got the jack stands on top of pavers just because we're in rocks. And that's how we're doing it. We're doing it ghetto boy style. So I'm gonna show you what's up, where the subframe's mounted, just so you have an idea. So you have one in the very back of the subframe. You have one towards the front of the car where the firewall is. Now both sides are the same. And when I was talking about miscellaneous bolts, it's like, you know, like this fuel line right here. Now what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna just take off this clamp and pull the line off right here, and then this part of the fuel line will just come out with the subframe. But there's little miscellaneous things like that. On the other side, it's gonna be like your brake line. But yeah, that's where we're at. So let's start removing this subframe. Okay, so before we remove the subframe from the Nova, we're gonna soak all the bolts in WD-40, just because I'm sure they haven't been touched for over 40 years. So that's what we're gonna do before we start breaking into them. And then me and Willie ran up to AutoZone real quick, bought some cheap ass Autolite plugs for $2.99 a piece, because the Civic will not start. I pulled the plugs out, super fouled. So we're gonna throw those in and hopefully she fires up. Let's get to it. All right, so all the mounting hardware in the subframe is out. We unbolted our fuel line, unbolted our emergency brake cable, our speed cable, loosened up the steering shaft knuckle, which I forgot to talk about that, but it's done. We have one thing left. It's disconnecting the brake lines from the booster. This one right here and this one down here. which are for both front wheels. So we're gonna get to that, get those undone, and this whole subframe should drop and roll out. Let's do it. All right, so the subframe is finally out. Went well, wasn't too bad. The only thing we had issues with is the steering shaft. Had to give it a few strokes to get it to bust out. You know how that goes. But yeah, so that's done. We're moving along quite nicely. Got the Civic fired up. Changed out the plugs. But we were definitely having an issue with the main relay. Wasn't keeping the fuel pump kicked on. So pretty much what I noticed, so I'd go to crank the car, you wouldn't hear the fuel pump. I'd literally flick the main relay and you could hear the fuel pump kicking off and on. So that needs to be replaced. Other than that though, she's running right now. Still need to tune, but she's been running for, I don't know, the last hour, burning all that residue that's left on those pistons, because there's plenty of oil, plenty of fuel. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. We might take the Civic for a cruise. All right, we're gonna do a quick lap around the block. Oh, it's flat tires over there. Just because it's been a while since we took the Civic for a little drive. nasty.
Burning that clutch.
Yeah, his clutch is already fried. Alrighty. You can pause it, motherfucker. So me and Willie went ahead and pulled off the wiring harness up front just to clean up the firewall. That is the engine harness and the harness that supplies the whole front end with all of its lighting and also like the wiper motor, things like that, etc. But yeah, we just wanted to clean up the firewall a tad. Looked like a big old mess. Wiring was all tangled. So we did remove that. There it is right there. Not the prettiest thing to look at, but we have Willie online right now looking for harnesses. We did find an engine harness, but it's a two-piece harness, so we can't find the other half. That's for like all the lighting. But if I can, I would like to just pick up a full new engine harness and a new harness for all the lighting, because you're gonna have new sockets. Obviously these ones are all old and corroded and are probably super fragile and can break very easily since they're plastic. But yeah, we're just kind of moving along, tearing stuff apart, just trying to, you know, get prepped for the next weekend. So firewall doesn't look too bad. It looks a little bit more cleaned up. Obviously we're gonna go over this whole thing with like a wire brush, sand it all down, prime it, paint it black, so the whole firewall looks way cleaner. And I will be power washing that, hand power washing the subframe probably a few times just to get all this gunk off. Looks disgusting. New motor mounts, new transmission mount. We're not worried about it right now, but we will do new control arms, new shocks, front and back, probably a new steering box sooner or later, new inner and outer tie rods, sway bar, you know, everything you could think of. So, but we did take the Civic around the block, parked her, got the car cover back on her. Do need to get that new main relay and do a few other little things, like we need to put the wideband on her, do the test pipe, remove that cat, and really, I mean, get her tuned. That's the biggest thing. I just been slacking on that. So, but that's pretty much it for this video. We're getting somewhere, guys. So yeah, peace out till next time.